Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So today what we'll do is, I first would like to welcome all of you, Tripti Mataji, Athar Prabhu, Sunil Prabhu, Shraddha Mataji, Shreya Mataji, Vinod Prabhu, Shashikala Mataji. Thank you so much for joining. Samsung SM, who is that? Samsung SM. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, is it mine? Because my phone, I had changed the phone,
Ah,
so I'm unable to join in my phone. I had joined in my husband's phone
okay, okay.
because the link is not opening in my mobile. Is it mine, Mataji?
Yes, yes, it's your Swayam Prabha Mataji, right?
Yeah. It
Ah,
is from my husband's mobile I have opened,
okay.
but I don't know how to put the name and all.
That's
I'll
okay,
set
no
my
problem.
phone shortly. I'll set
No,
my
no
phone
issues. You
shortly,
just
Mataji.
click on the three dots there, and then you can
Uh-huh.
put rename. I'm renaming you for you now. So you just click
Okay,
on the
thank you.
three dots and type out. Yeah, that's it. So welcome Swayam Prabha Mataji as well.
Okay, three dots I'm not able to see. Anyway, I'll get it done, Mataji, by
Ah,
asking somebody who knows it. Okay,
right.
thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. So I thought today we will just go through, the whole summary of chapter 3 as much as possible. And we'll see what chapter 3 is all about so that we have a clear mental picture of what chapter 3 is telling us altogether. And then we will, if there's time, we will read through some of the Srila Prabhupada's lectures, which really gives us much more, profound understanding. If not, if we would take all of the class just to understand chapter 3, then tomorrow we will do reading of the Srila Prabhupada's lectures, something from there. So let me share. We'll just go through the entire chapter 3 quickly, which is Karma Yoga. And I'll just quickly go through what we've already done and come to where we are latest. If anybody remembers which was the verse we were doing, I think had only the last section left to do. We can begin with a prayer, taking blessings of Srila Prabhupada, without whose efforts, tireless efforts of putting in all the translations with his immense knowledge from so many scriptures. He has given us such a clear understanding of what our Sanatan Dharma is all about. We can't say clear understanding, we are still swimming in the huge ocean, but at least we know that this is the ocean and it is worth spending our time trying to understand this ocean. Nokia 112, who is that? Nokia 112. Hare Krishna. Deepak Prabhu, welcome. Thank you for joining the class. Uh, only
Hare
no.
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Deepak Prabhu. So I don't know who is Nokia. Tripti Mataji has also joined. Thank you so much. Sunil Prabhu also. Okay. So let's all pay our humble obeisances to the beautiful deities of Radha Krishna, Sri Radha Krishna at ISKCON Mangaluru. And let's pray that someday we all get to visit the ISKCON Mangalore temple and thank Namnishta Das Prabhu personally. All glories to the founder Acharya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. All glories to his disciple, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj. Let's all say three times Hare Krishna for him because his health is deteriorating. Let's pray for Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj's health. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All glories to Temple President, His Grace, Namishra Das Prabhu. And I would like to seek blessings of my teachers, Aishwarya Mataji, Rashmi Mataji, and everybody else from whom I have been learning. Let's do a pranam mantra. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane. Athar, I'm sorry I forgot to send you these prayers. You had asked for it. I'll send it to you after this class. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Visheshaya Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Somebody's at the door. Yeah, just remind me on WhatsApp. I'll send it to you. I'll just check who's at the door. Just to give me a minute. Sorry about that. We'll continue with the Mangalacharan. Vande Ham Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagara Jatam Sahagara Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padara Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitam Cha हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे. So, in chapter 1 of the Bhagavad Gita, we mainly understood the position of Duryodhana, the position of Dhritarashtra, and the position of Arjuna, how he was in Sattva Gun, and how Krishna will now guide him to move from Sattva Gun to Shuddha Sattva, and how he will gradually, through lot of question answers through the chapters, come to the understanding of how a karma is what Krishna is asking him to do. So he gets confused in chapter 3. Also, he'll ask questions about it. In chapter 5, also, he will have again a doubt. He doesn't get the concept of akarma. Not that Arjuna is less intelligent, but he's asking questions for our sake. And then, so in chapter 1 and 2, we saw the different reasons which Arjuna has said. And in chapter 2, all the questions were answered by Arjuna, by Krishna. Whatever doubts Arjuna had expressed, everything was slashed down very clearly by Krishna. And we saw how Arjuna surrenders in the verse 2.7. And after that, how Krishna takes on the position of a teacher. Chapter 2, we understood how Arjuna, brings about his doubts in the beginning and he surrenders. And then Krishna talks about Jnana, Karma Kanda, Buddhi Yoga, and how to become Sita Prajna, which I spent a lot of time. Chapter 3, I think the last two sections were left, or only the last section, I can't remember. But we have done quite well. The first section where Arjuna will, ask about the confusion whether, Krishna wants him to renounce, that is, stop all the work. And then Krishna seems to be saying, but get up and fight. So Arjuna expresses his confusion, and Krishna very clearly and beautifully explains the yoga ladder. He explains about how renunciation is actually not the answer to getting knowledge or to understanding what is your true position. He explains the different types of ladders, how one can go through the very detailed ladder where you go, or do all the yoga, and you start off with karma kanda, karma yoga, and then you do all those dhyana and everything, and then you remove the dhyana part of it, and then there's a shorter ladder, and then Krishna give the escalator where you can straight away get Krishna prema, making Krishna prema your goal. Because at the end of dhyana yoga or jnana yoga or any other yoga you take up, the last destination is to understand that we have to accept that Krishna is God. We have to simply accept that we are part and parcel of Him. And we need to simply accept that all we need to do is to serve Krishna in complete surrender. And Krishna actually takes care of our life thereafter completely. But we have to the degree to which we are able to surrender to Krishna, Krishna will take over our lives. So, this understanding, basic, simple understanding, which will make us completely free from anxiety, completely free from all worries, because we have surrendered and we know that whatever Krishna is doing in our life, it's for us, it's for our benefit. And whatever bad things come to our life, it's just, the bad things which come are just messengers. Krishna is sending those to us either as a result of our past karma or for our development. So, when that kind of knowledge comes, that is the escalator where you become totally a bhakti yogi. It's also called buddhi yoga, where you, with your mind and your intelligence and your complete self, you surrender to the Lord completely in bhakti. And it's a very beautiful emotion. In fact, the Radhashtami just got over, and I have heard a number of lectures from Namnishta Das Prabhu, and then here at Coimbatore we have, some Prabhus were there whom I don't remember their names, but I went to the temple and I heard the lectures, and it's so beautifully explained, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes just to experience the joy of a devotee. And the best and highest devotee is Radha Rani. No one can be like wholly dedicated completely to Krishna as Radha Rani is, because Radha Rani is his first expansion, is his own. He himself is Radha Rani. Just for the enjoying part of him, he seeks to have to manifest as Radha Rani. And then he himself will wonder how Radharani is so joyful. How come she is all the time so much surrendered to me? What does she find in me? And he wants to know his own sweetness. What is the thing which is so attractive? And he feels attracted to himself because he's so attractive. And then he wants, these are all very high, actually very deep, profound understanding, which I'm just conveying the words which I heard, but I can sense that there's so much of depth to these teachings, which we learn from this Gaur Madhva Parampara, which we are now following in ISKCON. It's really very, very deep. And that bhakti, that rasa, all the different rasas Krishna wants to enjoy, and actually shows how the supreme Lord, the person who is in control of everything, the origin of everything, the supreme proprietor, he's a person who likes to enjoy all these different rasas. And you can start loving him as you come to know all the different Krishna kathas and how he manifests himself, and how he loves everyone, and how he expands for everyone, and so many beautiful things about Krishna. As you keep hearing and hearing, you really start loving him. And I think that is a escalator which is Srila Prabhupada is talking about. And so in verses 3.10 to 16, we understand that that is the highest goal. Any other process you take, do you want to philosophically understand and do jnana yoga, or you want to just dedicate only your fruits and keep on doing karma yoga, or you want to do the yoga, the dhyana yoga, where you ashtanga yoga, where you sit and do pranayam and all those asanas, and slowly after many many births you will understand that Krishna is God, and all I need to do is love him and surrender to him, and I've achieved the aim of my life. So we are so fortunate that just by devotee association, reading Srila Prabhupada's book and listening to lectures, all of which are so joyful, we can reach the highest goal, which all of these other parts will also achieve, but they will achieve after many, many births. So we are fortunate to get it in one shot. The escalator, we are just able to take the escalator and reach the highest goal. 3.17 to 35, I don't remember if he started, is focusing more on, the one of the steps which is nishkam karma, where you slowly start completely having no other karma. And that's, it's supposed to be the highest bhakti, when you have no more desire. Nishkam karma is actually bhakti, where, it's like Anya. I've said this verse many times in many classes, but it's my favorite verse. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhanavritam anukulena krishnanushilanam bhaktiruchyate. So what is bhakti? Anyabhilashita shunyam. You have no other desire. I've been doing Shishtastakam for all of you in the previous classes. Um, yes, you raised your hand. Nokia 112. What's your name? Prabhuji or Mataji? Nokia 112, you have raised your hand. Could you just please introduce yourself and tell us what you want to share? There's also one Vivo V2055. Manas Prabhu, thank you for joining. Welcome to the class. Okay, I think he is
Hare
gone.
Krishna Mataji.
Was that you, Manas Prabhu? You were the Nokia?
No, ma'am. No.
No, okay. Some Nokia was there. He has gone now. Instead, now there's another Vivo. Vivo V2055. Who is that? Hare Krishna. Okay. There used to be one Zoom user also earlier. All
Hare
right.
Krishna Mataji.
Shraddha Mataji. That's not
You
you.
sang no Mataji.
I sang Cheto Darpanam. In that, there was this na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, right? So that is Nishkam. You want no,
Oh.
not bothered. You don't want any wealth. You don't want any people to recognize you. There is nothing you desire anymore except serving Krishna. It's Anya Bhilashita Shunyam, zero desires. That's a very beautiful place to reach, and it's the very thought of it is you can feel how beautiful it would be. It's very difficult to reach there. We keep thinking, I want this, I want that, I want a job, I want my child to do this. Every day we have so many desires, but then overcoming all that and reaching the state of Anya Abhilashta Shunyam Jnana Karma Dhyana. Even Jnana, you're not interested, and Jnana Karma Dhyanavritam. You're not interested in, basically anything. Jnana Karma Dhyanavritam. Anukulena Krishnanu. Whatever will lead you to Krishna. Anukulina Krishnanu Shilanam Bhakti Ruchate. When you just do everything you do, offer it to Krishna. Krishna, would you like this? You're having food. Krishna, shall I make this for you? Maybe you want to have that, but you'll just in your mind ask Krishna, Krishna, shall I offer this to you as prasad? Offer it and then have it. So anything you do, you offer it and then have it. So that is acting dutifully with detachment. And actually, if you practice that, whatever you do it as an offering to Krishna. It'll be easy to detach from the material world. And then we will be able to go back to Godhead, which is the aim of Srila Prabhupada, taking us all back to Godhead, where we don't have to go through the painful cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. Many of you are young, maybe you're young, you have young bodies, and you don't realize how it is as you grow old, how it feels to be having diseases. As we grow older, the body gets weaker. Different parts of the body, Namishtadas Prabhu was saying that when you start growing old, every morning you get up with a new pain. Oh, today, my hands are paining, or my legs are, my hip is paining, my back is paining, my head is paining, my tooth are paining. It's so painful, when we are young or when we are small children, we are so, not bothered. There are so many beautiful bhajans which say that when we are children, we are enjoying. When we are little bit bigger, we are going to school, we are working hard, we are studying, then we are working, and then we are having families, and then we are taking care of our families. And then we realize when old age comes, when we see old people, we hardly care, what they are going through. But there's so much of pain and the disease and the approach of death. It's all so difficult. And when we practice, Krishna consciousness, when we start chanting, making it a part of our daily life, even while we are children or when we are young, and when we make it a regular habit to read Srila Prabhupada's book, to do whatever service we can, and we to engage our minds in Krishna, then I think, everything else will fall in place. We will at least not have to take another birth, which is the ultimate goal of the ISKCON movement, to get everybody here to, not have any more birth and death. And then each one who understands that this is the goal of life, to tell the others, right? So, each one of you should become teachers and preachers, and you should be able to tell whoever people, you can meet, or maybe through ISKCON classes, or somehow you should spread this beautiful knowledge. Because once you get it, don't be silent about, oh, I got the knowledge, now I know, big deal, I know so much. I know that the goal is this, and I know material world is dukhalayam. You get all this knowledge and you feel that, oh, great. But that's not enough. Krishna wants you to tell the others, you don't need to tell those who are non-believers, but you need to spread. You'll feel compassionate for those who are going through their life meaninglessly, when you understand that your life actually has a meaning. What is the meaning of your life? Each one of us, the life meaning is very simple. We need to understand our position as soul, not as body. We need to understand that we have to simply serve Krishna and surrender, and Krishna will take care of us completely. And we can be totally free from all anxiety once we surrender in that mode. So, this knowledge you get, and you are able to change your life, you're able to enjoy chanting, you're able to do devotional service. And then you tell others, look, this is what the Gita is saying. We are Hindus, we are Indians, we are Hindus, and we don't even know that. It's so sad that we have, lost this knowledge. And I want to tell everybody, I want to shout out to everybody that this is, what the Gita is teaching us, and it's so beautiful. Then the last part, I hope we can do the last part today, is beware of lust and anger. So this is last part is very, very beautiful. So let's move on. Through section A, B, and C, I will go through really fast, and we will try to do the last part thoroughly today. And we will read from Srila Prabhupada's lectures to wind up chapter 3 tomorrow. So the first part is about the confusion related to renunciation or action. And then how Arjuna is asking this question this way or that way. He's get very confused because of all the controversial topics. Although Krishna was actually clear, but Arjuna, basically in his heart of hearts, he actually wants to run away from the battlefield. So he keeps on, trying to look at those words where Krishna is saying, give up. And then he's saying, you're confusing me, because after that you're telling me get up and fight also. Then we saw through how, these chapters are connected, how the Arjuna is getting confused. So Arjuna's question, sorry. And then we looked at Krishna's answer, which is about Nishkam Karma Yoga. So he says that there are two kinds of people. Lokesmin Dvibidha Nishta. There are two classes of people. And he says one of them will use all speculation and knowledge and everything, and one of them will simply be devotional. So then we saw the comparison between those who are doing Sankhya Yoga or Jnana Yoga and those who are doing Buddhi Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, the differences of these two parts. And then Krishna talks about, this whole chapter is Karma Yoga. So then Krishna talks about how everyone has to work and no one can actually renounce work. And then nahi kaschit chanamapi, not even for a single second, even when we are doing nothing, that's something. What are you doing? I'm doing nothing. Even that is something. There is no millisecond when we can't work, because we have got this body and we are conditioned inside this body, and there is absolutely, where is my mouse gone? Okay. Yeah, somebody has put something in the chat and I'm trying to figure out what it is. Can you read out your chat? Because I'm not able to use my mouse properly. Okay, so I'll check out the chat later. Maybe I'll remove my... Audible now? Still? Okay. Hare Krishna, Shraddha Mataji has put, and then no problem. Okay, you're from the kids batch student. You joined by mistake. Nokia 112. All right, no issues. Okay, I just saw that now. So, no, nahi kaschit chanamapi. Not even for a single millisecond we can just be without acting. Why? Because nature makes us act. So this is again very, very unique concept to understand that all the actions we are doing we are actually being like threads. Puppets are made to dance around, right? With threads. Like that, the modes are making us do. Based on our own karma, the modes will act based on whatever modes we have been, practicing. If we have been generally being in sattva gun, then the sattva gun modes will make us act. if you have mostly been in Rajogun, Tamogun, whatever, so that modes will just make us act, and then no one can stop that action of the modes on us unless we come to Krishna. So, in this text 5, we saw Sankhya Yoga is impractical because the soul is always active. You can't just stop engaging all your senses. How many of these yogis and all, they aim for that. They want to stop all their sense activities and dedicate it to Krishna, but you actually can't stop your senses. The senses, even though you will run away, you'll say, oh, I'm renounced, and you wear a sannyasi, and then you say, okay, now onwards, I'm not going to have any sense interest in material sense things. But then it'll keep coming in your mind. So instead, in ISKCON, what we learn is that just engage all your senses, listen to Krishna Katha, speak about Krishna, eat only prasadam, see only things which are taking you closer to Krishna. Make your whole life, all your senses, walk to temples and dham, dance with the devotees, sing kirtans, use all your senses and your entire body to be like, what Krishna says, Manmana Bhava Madbhakto, all the time you think of me. So engage your senses instead of just, being a false renunciation. When you do that, there is no loss, and there won't be a fall down. Otherwise, when you're in contact with nature, you will acquire the modes of nature. And if you're in Krishna, Maya cannot act on you. By the way, you know what? If you keep Krishna in your mind, Maya cannot act on you. Maya will be far from you. The moment she sees that this person is with Krishna, there Maya and Krishna don't exist together in one person's life. Maya will run away from there, because then Krishna has taken over your life. So, and prescribed duties are recommended in Shastras, and we do those duties, and we saw how sacrifice and duties are all connected. If we do our duties as per Shastras also, it purifies us. Prescribed duties, if you do, it will purify us and it will slowly lead us to Krishna consciousness. That has to come. Ultimately, when you keep doing all your duties, the idea is that you should eventually understand Krishna. And then we saw about these pretenders, mithyachara. And then we saw about yastvendriyani manasa. So how, if a person controls his senses by the mind in Krishna consciousness, then he is superior. So then we saw the difference between a pretender, and we saw the different social orders. And we have also seen already about sacrifice. The circle of sacrifice was very, very beautiful. And the duties, how if you renounce, you fall down. If you perform it in Krishna consciousness, you grow. And how you will perform your actions as a sacrifice to Krishna and go back to Krishna. Otherwise, if you don't perform your actions for Krishna, surely those actions will be good or bad, and you have to come back in the cycle of birth and death, which we don't want to, right? I just explained to you how painful it is. When we are born, it is very painful. We don't remember, because when we were coming out of our mother's womb, how painful it was for us at that point of time, you forget. And then likewise, when we are children and we're young, we keep running about and doing different material things. And then when we grow old and start getting disease closer to death, that's when, at that point of time, suddenly you can't become Krishna conscious. That's why it's better, when children itself, as a child itself, you get it. So because then you escape from the cycle of this terrible cycle of birth and death in this terrible material world. So yoga ladder I did in the next class, Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. And we also saw how Krishna actually tells in the beginning that if you do demigod worship, they will be happy. Why are you doing demigod worship? Because, in this whole material universe, everything is under the administration of a demigod, which we can't see because the demigod's bodies are very subtle. They're not spiritual yet. That's why they're in the material world. They are material, but they're very subtle. Like our bodies are covered with three subtle things: mind, intelligence, and false ego. And the amazing thing is that the scriptures, the Gita explains that these are material. No, it's not that they are spiritual, like the soul. The nature of the mind, intelligence, and ego is not the nature of our soul. It's actually material. It's just subtle. Similarly, these gods and goddesses, they're very subtle. You can't see them, but they're everywhere. They're administering everything. They've been given the job. But they cannot even move a finger or bless anybody without the sanction of the Lord. So it's not like they're independent. They are also in the material world, just that they are devotees and they are in higher position. So they are everywhere. And Krishna says that those, if you do all these sacrifices following the Vedas and please the demigods, and they will, bless you. So then we saw the cycle of sacrifice. Ultimately, if you give it to Krishna, it's the best because then you're watering the roots. Vedas tell us our duties based on our varnashrama, which I think I explained a lot in previous class. And then sacrifice, when we do or any kind of sacrifice, and the best sacrifice in Kali Yuga is simply to sit and chant. And I told you that when you see somebody chanting, don't ever think that he's doing it for himself or he's just a mad person sitting there. His chanting is actually benefiting the world in different ways. Because when we chant, it's not only for you. It actually brings about prosperity around. And it actually leads to rain and prosperity and grain and everything and good food. And what shall we do when we get the good food because of all this that we have followed? It's because of the God that we have everything. We wouldn't be there. Nothing would be there without God. So it is wrong. Krishna says it is a sin. You're actually a thief. If you just take away things which have been produced and eat without even thinking for a moment that it's all belongs to God and thanking Him and offering it to Him. So this yagya cycle is very, very beautiful. And then Krishna then gradually he tries to start explaining. This is about the thief part. This 3.12 tells us that if you enjoy all the gifts which have been given to us without offering it, then you're a thief. And then the devotees of the Lord are released from all sins because they eat food which is offered as a sacrifice. That's why, gradually, I would be really happy if many of you start understanding that if you eat offered food, it affects your consciousness a lot. It will help in you not falling into material consciousness. Because if you eat food which is cooked by somebody who is not a devotee, then what happens is their consciousness, these are all very subtle things, we can't see them, but actually they have a tremendous impact. The food we eat really carries the consciousness of the person who has cooked it. That's why when people become initiated devotees, they are asked not to have any food. And you will find ISKCON devotees wherever they go, either they will carry their own little rice cooker and they will cook themselves, or even if they by chance have outside food, they will first sit and they will chant and they will offer and then they will eat. And they will make sure that there is no onion garlic. Because onion and garlic carry tamogun. It's been mentioned in scriptures. In fact, it's so obvious. You will find in many places people, they when they cook on a special day, they will say, okay, today we're not having non-veg and we're not having onion garlic because it's a special holy day. So, why only special holy day? That's why. So, obviously, this onion garlic carries some tamogun. That much is clear from the way the habits in India has gone on. So, initially, it may be difficult, but with chanting, you will find it easy. And when you start having, Krishna says, Sevon mukhehi jihva. Once you start serving the Lord with your tongue, how do you do that? Simply by two things. One is by chanting. You use your tongue to chant whenever you get time. Just chant, and you'll find an amazing difference. And then you eat only Krishna Prasad. You use your tongue to taste only whatever food is offered. So this may be in the beginning difficult. I have also just quite lately only been able to even try to venture to have only prasad. It takes a little effort, but then when you chant and you become more and more dedicated and you read, you will find in your life you can do it. So Krishna says in the Gita, he very clearly says, it's not that some people are creating it or the ISKCON people have made up the stories. There clearly in the verses. It says that Yajna Shishtashtina Shishtashino Santo Muchyante Sarva Kilpisha Bhunjante Te Tva Agham Papa. He says it's Papa, Agham Papa. So clearly, Ye Pachanti Atma Karanat. If you eat only for your own sense, Atma Pachanti means enjoying or having, digesting. Atma Karanat, only for your own sake. The moment you start just rushing about and eating whatever comes on the way just for your own sense gratification, then it is Agham Papa. It is actually a sin. You have to offer. That's why you will see here, you can see the devotee, he is completely surrendered and he has offered the food, and only then he says, Krishna, this is the food that I have made for you, or a devotee has made for you, and they eat only devotee made food. And Annad Bhavati Bhutani, this is also very important verse. From the grains, it is, the rains are produced, and the grains are produced because of rain. And rain is produced because of yajna. If there are no good deeds done by anyone, the whole earth will stop raining. There'll be chaos and disaster. Why are there so many climate change and disasters now? Simple. The reason is very simple. It's because people are not offering food, because they're not, doing any sacrifice. They just want to enjoy themselves all the time. So obviously there will be, the nature will hit back. And that is what we are seeing around us. Then in 3.15, we saw how the principles in the Vedas and Vedas are actually coming from God Himself, and therefore the all-pervading transcendence is eternal, is situated in the act of sacrifice. So sacrifice, Krishna Himself is the ultimate goal of all sacrifice. And then next, I think today we are going to do the section. We're coming to Nishkama Karma and beware of lust and anger. So Nishkama Karma yogi is one who says that my prescribed duties are meant to bring reward, but I do not have any material desire. I don't even want to go to Svarga Loka. I don't even want to get liberation. I'm okay with whatever body you give me. But I just want to be able to, devote myself to you. So I will do all my duties, but I don't want any result. So that is the attitude which is carried from the verse 17 to 32 of this chapter. So Krishna explains why when you become free from desires, slowly you will find that, that you do your duties, but you actually need not do it, because Krishna will actually take care of you once you start doing it. And this is an answer to destruction of family dynasty. Krishna says you set an example, and then the family dynasty will not matter because you are a role model. So in 3.17, did we do this verse? Anybody remembers if we did this 3.17? Hare Krishna.
No, Mataji.
Okay. So then I don't think we can do the last section today because it's already 9:40. So we'll have to do section C only. So in 3.17, Krishna is saying, यस्त्वात्मरतिरेव स्यात् आत्मतृप्तश्च मानवः आत्मन्येव च सन्तुष्टः तस्य कार्यं न विद्यते. So once you are becoming an Atma Rama, you're really able to take pleasure in the fact that you're a soul. And you have, your life is, you've already achieved self-realization, and you're so satisfied that you've understood that God is in control. You have experienced Krishna within you. And then actually, what happens is really miraculous. But then for such a person, eventually there'll be no duty. They will, but still he will do. It's not that he will not do, but he'll be in a position where he need not do. That's a very amazing position. It happens by quite a miracle only. It happens though. And then naiva tasya krite nartho na krite neha kashana nachasyat sarvabhuteshu kashidarthavyapashrayah. And such a self-realized person, he has no need or purpose to fulfill any of his duties, nor he has any reason not to perform. He's not like, oh, now I don't need to perform, so I'll just sit and laze away, I'll just sit and chant in one corner. And no, he doesn't have any reason for doing that also. He's happy to do his duties, whatever in family he is in, or whatever is his varnashma dharma as per his birth. He just keeps doing his duty, and but then in his mind, in his heart, he's already self-realized, and he's an Atma Rama. He's just satisfied in his self. And he doesn't need to depend on anyone. He actually doesn't need to perform any rites and rituals for his parents and grandparents and all that. He has no more debt. That's the most amazing promise Krishna says. Once you come to Krishna consciousness, you are no longer indebted to anybody, because all the debts that you have to society, to your parents, to your ancestors, everything gets wiped away by the power of Krishna consciousness, which is simply practiced by chanting and preaching and reading and devotee association. Through all these means, you attain that state. In 3.19, thereafter, Krishna says, Tasmad asakta satatam karyam karma samachara asakto hyacharan karma paramapnoti purushah. So, if you're without being attached to fruits of activities, we should act as a matter of duty. So then, because you're already so satisfied, self-satisfied, you have no material desire. So you don't look forward for any particular fruit. You do your work. If something good happens, great. If it doesn't happen, fine. So then you're not attached to the result. And you're working with such unattachment, you will attain the supreme position. That is, you will get the highest goal. And 3.20 is also very important. Karma naiva hi samsiddhim masita janakadayah loka sangrahamevapi sampashyan kartumarhasi. So, kings such as Janaka. So, this is, very crucial to understand that in the whole Bhagavad Gita, there is only one person whose name is clearly mentioned, setting an example of King Janaka. How was King Janaka? Why is Krishna mentioned King Janaka? Actually, King Janaka was in Krishna's previous birth as Rama. Janaka was his father in law. And he was greatly having respect for his father-in-law in that birth. And in this birth, he makes it a point to mention his name in the Gita. He says that kings like Janaka, they are leading a life which is perfect. How? They're just doing all their duties, and they're doing it just for the sake of educating the people that they should perform their work. So he does all he need not do, because he's such a great devotee. But he does everything just for setting an example. And that's what Krishna wants Arjuna also to do. Maybe he need not do, but then he's actually, you need to be my instrument. Krishna tells Arjuna that just do it for me because I've already done it for you. I'm just wanting you to be the instrument in doing it. Then 3.21, Yad Yadacharati Shreshtaha Tattadeva Tarojanaha Sayat Pramanam Kurute Lokastadanuvartate. So this is what he says. Don't think that if you run away, then you're saving the tradition. Actually, by running away, you're breaking the tradition. You have to, on the contrary, set an example that you are a Kshatriya and you have been wronged and you have to take back your kingdom because that is your duty. You have made some promises when Draupadi was also insulted in the court. You have all brothers have made some promises and they have to keep the promise. They should set the example of keeping a promise, and they can't behave like not a Kshatriya. They are by Varnashrama Dharma, they are Kshatriyas. So when you set an example, that is higher than running away and saying, oh, the traditions are going to be broken. So Krishna will clearly explain that, your point about tradition is wrong. You actually make tradition right by setting an example, which is more important. In 3.22, Krishna says, Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptamavaptavyam varta eva cha karmani. So he says, oh son of Pritha. And he says Partha, right? So Pritha, son of Pritha. There is no work that Krishna has to do, right? Krishna is the Lord. He really need not do anything. When he comes into the world, also material world for different reasons, he can just sit and do nothing. He can just get everything done. But then he does whatever he has to do regularly. He goes to a guru, he takes shiksha, he grows up like a little boy. See, he's carrying the slippers of his father. Yashmanu Nand Maharaj, he's carrying the slippers on his head. So he does all the things, all his duties. He says, there is nothing I need to do because I am in control of all the planetary systems. And I don't want anything, I have everything. There's nothing that I need. I want some karma, get some karma, or I want to get back to Goloka. Nothing. Krishna has nothing. But yet he does his duties. Why? Because to set an example. So Krishna is saying his own example to Arjuna that you also should be like that. Set an example. If you don't do your duty, then Krishna says, in case I also don't do my duty, then people will also follow. And that's going to set a wrong example. In 3.24, Krishna says, Utsideyurime loka nakuryang karma chedaham sankarasya cha kartasyam upanyami mah prajaha upahanyami mah prajaha. So he says that if I didn't perform, then all the worlds would be in ruination. And I would be the cause of creating unwanted population. And I would thereby destroy the peace of all living beings. So here in these three verses, he talks about why Krishna is performing whatever he has to perform as per his, whatever family he has come into in that particular birth. And then 3.25, Krishna is saying, सक्ताः कर्मण्य विद्वांसो यथा कुर्वन्ति भारत कुर्याद् विद्वांस तथा सक्तः चिकीर्षुर्लोकसंग्रहम्. So he says, as an ignorant person, he performs duties with attachment to results. Ignorant is those who don't have this knowledge that if you attach yourself to the results of what you're doing, you have to go on a cycle of birth and death. And then those people are stupid who do not understand that the cycle of birth and death is painful. They think, no, this world is so beautiful, and they'll go on taking selfies and run around from morning till night trying to earn some money, and then trying to enjoy material senses, which are all temporary. So they are all ignorant people. Now, once you get the knowledge really, and you look at other people running around their life, from morning to night, working like donkeys, you really feel sorry for them. So ignorant and stupid people, they go on working and working. Why? Because they're so attached to results. But the learned people, it doesn't mean that the learned people will not work. They also will be working very hard. In fact, devotees, they do much better job than non-devotees because they have the intelligence. They are connected to Krishna by chanting. They are connected to the Supreme Lord of the universe by their devotional service. And Krishna is there with them. In many, many verses in Gita, Krishna says that if you keep your mind engaged with me, I am actually there with you. The moment you say Krishna, Krishna is on your tongue already. We may not know it now, we cannot sense it now, but that's the way he promises. And he says that the learned person who knows everything, he will also behave like that. When you look from outside, you won't understand a difference. The devotee also is busy doing all this. So suppose a student and doing all the homework and preparing for a test and doing your projects. If you're working at an office, you'll be finishing all your things, your deadlines. The devotee also will be doing whatever the non-devotee is doing. But the devotee is actually on the right path. Why? Because he is doing whatever he's doing without a sense of attachment. So, person looking from outside may not understand that this person is doing attached to results and this person is doing with no attachment to results. But then we know what is the right path. The person who's a devotee, he understands that this is the right path and I'm on the right path. So, how do learned people and ignorant people act? What have we learned from this? A person who is self realized, his main aim is to satisfy Krishna's senses. Even if he's doing his work in the office or if a student is doing his homework and project, in his mind, he will keep reminding himself, you know what, Krishna, I'm doing this for you. Do you like it? Do you think I'm doing it the right way? And the constant communication and closeness and love for Krishna. And then you have no attachment. Whatever I'm doing, Krishna, I'm doing it for you. Okay. So, whether you're going to give me a good result or bad result, if I fail or if I get the highest mark, whatever it is, I'm offering it to you and I don't mind what you give me. Krishna has the ultimate power of everything. He will give you or don't give you for your good. So then you are setting an example, and people who look at you, they'll see, wow, look at this person. He's so sincere and dedicated in his work. Whereas somebody who is busy all the time thinking of how can I satisfy my sense, how can I earn more money, how can I get a bigger car, how can I get beautiful women, how can I get more intoxicants, how can I enjoy more my material senses, how can I go traveling around the world, how can I, all these material enjoyments he's all the time bothered about. He'll be only working for that. Even when he's working, his mind is only okay with when the salary comes, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do this, I'll do that. His consciousness is fully material. And why? Because he's ignorant. He hasn't understood the Gita. The Gita hasn't come to him. Krishna doesn't give the Gita to somebody who is lusty and desirous of only satisfying his senses. They will never get the Gita. Gita, now all of you are here because you have reached the state where Krishna has blessed you. You are here because Krishna understands that Krishna knows that you are now ready for this knowledge. Otherwise, don't ever think that this class you're attending by fluke or by your own effort. I am the one who has taken pains, and so I'm so great. No, you have been blessed by Krishna. Krishna has been graceful and has decided that, okay, this person deserves to know this amazing knowledge, which will set you free from cycles of birth and death, which is so amazing. And 3.26, Krishna says, Na buddhi bhedan janayed ajnanam karma sanginam joshayed sarva karmani vidvan yukta samacharan. So, what does he do? So as not to disrupt the minds of ignorant people. Now, all around you, Krishna says, Bahuna Manushyanam Sahasreshu. You'll find your whole office or look at all your relatives and your family. You will find very few Krishna conscious people. In the whole, like in my family, there's no one almost. Everybody is against Krishna consciousness. They say, oh, this is a cult, and this is, you're not having onion garlic. Oh, what is a onion garlic ne kya kiya tumhara, So then you'll find most people will be ignorant about the knowledge of Gita. And you tell them, what Gita is saying, this is not ISKCON that's saying, then still they don't want to. So you don't want to disturb such people. Krishna says, no, no, don't. No, who are non-devotees of me, that is, they're not devotees of Krishna, they want to pray to all other gods for material, different sense gratification. Such people who are ignorant about what the Gita is actually teaching us, don't disturb them. See, Krishna says, don't disrupt their minds. Let them be. Krishna loves everyone. He will eventually, get them also to understand. So you don't have to be so burdened. So, don't disturb them. Krishna says, don't disturb the minds of ignorant men who are attached to fruitive results of their duties. They work only for salary, and once they get a salary, the only thing they want to do is they want to spend. Of course, a devotee is also working for salary only, but then he uses the salary in Krishna consciousness. How? Whatever food he buys, he offers it. If he buys some clothes, he will offer it to Krishna. He's always in Krishna consciousness, and whatever he has earned, he is using it to please Krishna. His mind is full of how can I please Krishna. The learned person, therefore, will not stop work. Rather, by working in spirit of devotion, he will engage all the others also in Krishna conscious activities. He will try to slowly bring others also into understanding the position of God, which can be done, slowly it can be done. That's what Prabhupada wants us to do. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants us to do. He wants us to spread the movement and get more and more people to slowly understand Krishna. 3.27 Krishna says, Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashah ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. This is also very, very important. We think that we are doing, I am doing this. I am, we are full of I. The spirit soul is actually bewildered because of this false image we have of ourselves. We are not the doer. Actually, the modes of nature are making us do, like I said in an earlier verse also, the three modes of nature, Sattvagun, Rajogun, Tamogun, whatever we have fed, by our previous so many births, whichever is more powerful, that will force us. Suppose you have been mostly in Tamogun in this birth and previous births, and your Tamogun is very strong. Even if you say, I will work hard and do this, you will not be, you cannot do it because you're basically full of Tamogun. You'll feel sleepy, you'll not want to do it, you'll keep procrastinating because you're full of tamogun. What to do? The nature will just make you do whatever is as per the gunas you have been reading. So, the gunas are actually making you do things. You actually yourself are not really in control. You're totally being made to do things based on your karma and desires and gunas. So 3.28 Krishna says, Tattva vittu mahabaho guna karma vibhagayoho guna guneshu vartanta iti matva na sajjate. So one who gets knowledge, however, once you get this knowledge of Gita, O mighty armed one, he says Mahabaho, he does not engage himself. Once you understand, you won't feel like, engaging your senses in different material sense gratification. Slowly, initially it won't happen, but as you keep on being in Krishna consciousness, you chant, you eat prasadam, you try to be in devotee association, you try to listen from devotees, then what will happen is you will not have any more taste for the lower pleasures. You will find all the bodily pleasures as lower in nature because you have enjoyed the higher taste. And you know already the difference now. What is the beauty of working in devotion and what is the nonsensical thing of running about like a mad person working for material results. And so your life takes a complete U-turn. Not that your life, you'll change what you're doing, but the way you do, how you do in Krishna consciousness, it changes completely. You transform into a new person, completely different from who you were once you understand the Gita. In 3.29, Krishna says, Prakrite guna sammudhaha sajjante guna karmasu tana kritsna vido mandan kritsna vinna vichalayet. So he says that Prakrite guna sammudha, such a person who is ignorant, however, alternately Krishna is talking about the knowledgeable, then ignorant, then knowledgeable, then ignorant. So ignorant person who is bewildered by the modes and they will fully engage in material activities and they'll be so attached. But the person who is wise, he should not unsettle them. It's not that you will go to them and just give them blatantly the knowledge. You have to do it very carefully and slowly. It's not like you will just go and tell them, yeah, Shraddha Mataji, it's okay, Mataji, you can go. Is it time? Yeah, it's 10 already. I think even I should stop.
Mataji, someone is going to come now, so
Yeah,
sorry, Mataji. I
no
filled
problem.
the form, Mataji.
Prabhuji has shared the attendance. Vinod Prabhu is here today.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mataji.
He has shared the link.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Vinod Prabhu. That's a huge blessing for me to have you share this. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So,
Hare Krishna, Mataji. I
Hare
filled the
Krishna.
form.
Yeah, good. All of you, please fill the attendance, and I think we will end at 3:30 today. We will continue next class. Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasya dhatma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigadajwarah. So Krishna says, therefore, because of all of these reasons, you surrender all your work unto me with full knowledge of me, with no desire for profit, no claim to proprietorship, and then you will become free from lethargy. You will not feel lazy, you will not feel like not fighting, you get up and fight. This is what I want you to do. So from 3.31, we shall do tomorrow. Vancha kalpataru bhyasya kripa sindhu bhya evacha pati tanam pavane bhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you so much for joining. I didn't do the kirtan in the morning, in the beginning of the class, because I was already late. Anyway, today Mataji has not joined. Madhu Mataji, she is the one who usually likes the Bengali kirtans. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Deepak Prabhu, Manas Prabhu, Athar Prabhu, Sunil Prabhu, Shreya Mataji, Shashikala Mataji, Vinod Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.